Hello, church family. Pastor Dan here with another video. Back-to-back days. Who would have thought it? But good news, I'm back in the office and getting a lot of good study in today. Feels good to be back in here. So looking forward to being back with you on Sunday morning. Just want to take just a brief moment today to tell you about a couple books, 3 books actually, that are in our library. As you know, our library was just revamped and redone for theological edification of the church family. We weeded out a lot of books in there that probably didn't need to be in there, and just kept it strictly for Christian fiction and also theological content. Along that theological content, there's 3 books I want to talk to you about today that are very important for things that are happening in our culture. As you know, over the last year or two, there's been an uprising of a philosophy called critical race theory. This is what has spawned the Black Lives Matter movement and other things that we have seen in national news and media. This is not good. It's actually rooted in Marxist ideology and disguises itself with compassion towards minorities, but actually is not racial reconciliation. It actually is trying to solve the issue of racism with just more racism. And you probably have heard the terms white privilege and other things thrown out to just load white people with more guilt. As we know, the gospel is the only answer for racism, not some worldly ideology. Sadly, the reason why I have to bring this up is because this is just not infiltrating our nation, but it's also infiltrating evangelicalism, or the church in America and around the world. Churches and pastors are falling for this nonsense of critical race theory and Black Lives Matter and white privilege and all those things that go with it. There's so much that can be said about those things, but I just wanted to share with you 3 books that speak to this issue and are very, very important. The first one is a book called By What Standard? It's an excellent book produced by Founders Ministries, who is actually, I'm good friends with those guys. They're down in Cape Coral, Florida. They're actually leading the charge against wokeness in the Southern Baptist Convention. By what standard? They ask the question, why do we have to do these things? Why do we have to use critical race theory? By what standard are you saying that that is right? And of course, the standard that we want to hold to and what they're holding to is God's Word. This is an excellent book to get you familiar with the issues at hand, and it's done very, very well, composed by multiple authors and put together in one book. By What Standard? It's in our library. The other book, you probably heard of this author. His name is Voddie Baucham. Voddie is a black man who is outspoken against critical race theory and Black Lives Matter. He's a faithful gospel preacher, sees this from a biblical perspective and also from his own story. Fault Lines is the name of this book. The Social Justice Movement and Evangelicalism's Looming Catastrophe. That's right, this thing is just eating the church alive for those who are buying into its foolishness. Fault Lines by Voddie Baucham. Excellent, excellent resource, also in our library. And then the newest book that is just hit by Owen Strachan, Christianity and Wokeness, How the Social Justice Movement is Hijacking the Gospel and How to Stop It. And so, very good book, hot off the presses. Owen is a very faithful pastor as well, speaking against these things. So, if you want to educate yourself on some resources that speak against this movement, not just in Washington, but it's also in locally here in our public schools and also in some of our own churches. Some of you have even left churches that have been preaching and fostering these things and have come here because we stand against it. Anyway, part of my job is to disciple you, help you in your theological training and education and your discipleship. We must educate ourselves on these issues and stand firm in the culture against it. The gospel is the only answer. I'm also going to put down in the comment section, whether you're watching this on YouTube or on our private Facebook group, the links to the Amazon places where you can buy these books. You don't have to buy them. They're in our library. We only have one copy each. And so you can come check it out and then wait to see when it is available. But I encourage you to check out these resources. Also, on our website, if you'd like to know more about social justice, if you go to the very top link, there's a link that says teaching, and then there's something come up that says social justice resources. There I've posted many articles and videos that will further help to educate you on these issues. So if you're waiting to watch or to get one of these books out of the library or buy them from Amazon, you can go to our website, watch those resources, read them, and get educated. God bless you. We'll see you Sunday.